Hello from Fort McHenry, a pretty awesome looking wooden playground, apparently dedicated to Fort McHenry in Baltimore, Maryland. But we're not in Baltimore this fine morning. We're in McHenry, Illinois. Not the typical downtown business district or Riverwalk videos that I typically do in McHenry. For the first time, I'm vlogging Fort McHenry. Never actually even really been to this park. At least enough to check it out up close. This park is usually very packed with kids. So obviously the best time to vlog it is in the super early morning hours. Yep. Sunrise. It's over there somewhere. We're getting little tastes of fall. A little glimpse. Some chilly air as we round out August and enter September, where the cooler than normal temperatures will continue. Something I want to show you over there. One of the reasons that I'm doing this vlog this morning. That's Illinois State Route 120 Elm Street over there. Gotta at least walk this thing, huh? Oh yeah, a much younger version of me would have absolutely loved a place like this. We did not have anything close to this in North Lake. I showed you full Roy Park, my childhood park, in a earlier video. I had my little Ozzy's food vlog. Not quite anything like this. But as a little bonus, yep, McHenry County's Prairie Trail runs right through this park. So I thought it might be fun to just walk a little tiny portion of McHenry's portion of the Prairie Trail. And we also got something fairly new right next to Fort McHenry. We have a splash pad. Now we do have that sort of fountain thing over at Miller Point Park. But we have an official splash pad over here. Now hopefully none of these things start going off. It's a little chilly for a splash pad this morning. This is pretty popular with the youth as well. This kind of looks like a big bucket thing that dumps out on you. I'm guessing that's what that is. And yes, we are officially on the McHenry County Prairie Trail once again. Got a few various vlogs on this thing. Different cities. It'll be Algonquin, Crystal Lake, or Richmond. And this little green area here is Whispering Oaks Park. Nice little bridge over here. There's your sunrise. Even though it is a little chilly this morning, I'm sure it's going to warm up pretty nicely today. This is, of course, Boone Creek, which does connect to the Fox River over by the Riverwalk, which I've filmed a million times now. We have a nice covered shelter here for all your picnic needs. And some public restrooms. What I want to do now, though, is head across the street over by the Julasco. Not doing a shopping vlog today, but there's one particular part of the Prairie Trail that I want to check out. There's always this cool overhang here, too. Don't really know what that's about, but I've always liked that. Julasco's right over here. At Front Royal Drive. And I could have technically crossed by the stoplight and just walked over to the trail over there, but I figured, man, let's just drive over there. Because there's this really cool wooded little area over here. So we're just going to park kind of over by the IHOP in the Julasco. Yeah, I don't think anyone will care if we park over here. This would be a good morning for some pancakes if I had the time. Alright, we're back at 120. When I go for my nightly walks, I usually don't walk this far. So I haven't really vlogged much of the Prairie Trail in this area yet. But here we go, back down to the McHenry County Prairie Trail. This is Brookside Trail Park. And this thing will go up north to Richmond and in to Wisconsin, eventually dumping out at Genoa City, which, if you haven't seen it yet, check that video out. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this trail will technically go into Wisconsin, but not that far. And it used to be part of the Chicago Northwestern line, which would head up into Lake Geneva, eventually dump out over by Williams Bay. Yeah, this is a really neat little wooded area. I've been wanting to check this out for a while. Not going to walk it much. If I continued north, it would eventually kind of go over to the McCollum Lake area and Peterson Park. An area I may cover in a different video at some point. It's kind of our local lake, I guess, if you want to call it that. Not quite as cool as Lake Zurich, but there is a nice beach area over there, and I haven't vlogged that yet. We're still following Boone Creek. Backside of the Julasco is right over there. yeah, it just kind of continues on. Interesting little path over here. Don't know if this actually goes anywhere. And what is over here anyway? Okay, I think this is like the back property of a church right over there. Wow, yeah, I didn't realize a huge field was back here. All these little dirt paths, though, kind of head back to the trail. I think we're going to end it over here. So now we are connecting and will run parallel for quite a bit, actually, with the actual current Chicago Northwestern or Union Pacific Railroad line. It is an actual railroad line through Ringwood, but there are no longer any active trains that run to Ringwood. From what I've learned in the past, that I don't know exactly when it stopped, there was one train that ran weekly on Thursday, I think. Could be wrong on that. At like 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that, up to the big factory in Ringwood, and then would head back. And that was it. But from what I've been told, there was a little confusion on that. There were some people that disagreed, but from what I understand, that is no longer a thing. That train does not go up there anymore. And of course, the Metro line stops at McHenry. That is the end of the line, that little branch. 3 trains in to McHenry, 3 trains out of McHenry, weekdays only. And no freights at all going at branch from Crystal Lake to McHenry. But it used to be a big passenger line and freight line, I believe. When it went up to Lake Geneva. Oh man, this is pretty here. Okay. This is cool. Got a nice little railroad bridge there. Now, it's... I don't know. You know, is it an active line? Is it not an active line? No trains go there. But this is definitely not like an abandoned railroad line. This is still property of the Union Pacific Railroad, so... I still wouldn't recommend walking on that thing. No, you are not going to encounter any trains, but if someone sees you, you might get in trouble. And it's kind of pointless anyway, because from this point northward, this bike trail does run parallel to the railroad tracks all the way up to Richmond. And it is fenced off here, so obviously they don't really want you messing around with the railroad tracks. And the trail just continues on, like I said, but we'll save that for another day. You got the, in my opinion, very obvious original power lines that would be connected to the railroad line. Something that I did mention in my 2-part PLZ and W video series. Keep an eye out for those power lines. Often gives you an indication of the right-of-ways. Now, I'm not going to say that it isn't very easy to get to those tracks from various street intersections. I've definitely seen people walking on that thing. Because I hesitate to call it abandoned. Let's go with inactive. I think there's a difference there. But you're also taking advice from someone that is a horrible urbex explorer. I'll be the first to admit that. Got your indication here that the bike route continues west on Illinois State Route 120, because they don't want you crossing here for obvious reason. This is a very busy street. They don't want you crossing over at the stoplight. Once you cross over there, you're connected back to the Prairie Trail where the bridge is. Please be careful though if you do cross this intersection. This is Illinois State Route 120 and Oak Drive over there. We definitely get a lot of local news updates and like our local community groups and stuff about accidents at that intersection. Vehicle versus pedestrian, vehicle versus bicyclist, so just be careful. They should really have an underpass there, but for now, it doesn't exist. But that is the end of this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for watching.